Ladies and gentlemen, your brain is a muscle, and just like any other muscle in your body, if you don't use it, you lose it. It doesn't grow by accident. It grows through intentional use, through repetition, through consistent effort. And the truth is, the difference between someone who's stuck and someone who's successful often comes down to one thing: whether they're exercising their mind every single day. Now, I need you to understand this. You don't need to go back to school. You don't need a fancy degree. You don't need permission from anyone. You need discipline. You need commitment. You need a mindset that says, every single day, I'm going to get just a little bit smarter than I was yesterday. Because when you approach life like that, when you treat your brain like something you are actively responsible for developing, it changes everything. Most people wake up, grab their phone, and start scrolling. They're consuming junk news, junk opinions, junk distractions. And that's exactly what their thoughts start to look like: cluttered, negative, reactive. You know what successful people do instead? They treat their mornings like prime real estate. They feed their minds with something useful. They read, they listen, they write, and they do it every single day, not just when they feel like it. Here's what nobody tells you. Every time you pick up a book, every time you listen to a podcast that teaches you something new, every time you challenge your own thinking, you are building mental strength. You're building neural pathways. You're literally reshaping your brain to be sharper, more focused, more capable. That's not motivational fluff. That's neuroscience. Your brain rewires itself based on what you consistently do. So if you want to be better, you've got to train better. And let me tell you something about confidence. Confidence doesn't come from shouting affirmations in the mirror. It comes from evidence. When you educate yourself daily, you start to feel that evidence pile up. You know you're doing the work. You know you're improving. You can see it in how you talk, how you think, how you solve problems. That's how real confidence is built: through action, through proving to yourself over and over again that you are showing up for your growth. And I don't want to hear the excuse that you don't have time. You have time, you just don't prioritize your time. 10 minutes a day adds up. You can listen to a podcast on your commute. You can read 5 pages before bed. You can spend 15 minutes watching a TED Talk instead of binging another episode. You can, but you won't unless you decide to. Because that's what this is really about: deciding. Look, no one's coming to do it for you. No one's going to tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, now it's time to start growing. Now it's time to become the version of yourself you've always dreamed of. That moment doesn't come unless you create it. And that starts with a simple decision: I'm going to educate myself today. Because here's the secret: you don't need to be the smartest person in the room. You just need to be the person who never stops learning. The person who keeps showing up. The person who says, I'm not done yet. And when you do that day after day, month after month, your brain becomes a weapon, a tool, a force. You will start to see things other people don't see. You'll connect ideas faster. You'll solve problems more creatively. And the best part, you'll start to love learning. Not because someone told you to, but because you'll see how powerful it makes you feel, how capable, how focused, how alive. So here's the challenge. Starting today, treat your brain like a muscle. Give it a workout. Feed it with something useful. Push it to stretch, to question, to grow. Because if you do that, if you educate yourself daily, success stops being this far-off dream and starts becoming the natural result of the person. And that's what this is really about. Not reaching success, but becoming the kind of person who's ready for it when it shows up. Educate yourself daily. That's the secret, and now you know it. Information is power, but only if you use it. It's so easy to get caught up in the idea that knowledge alone will lead you to success. People often spend hours reading self-help books, watching educational videos, or listening to podcasts. But here's the thing. If you don't apply what you're learning, it's not doing you any good. Information without action is just noise. It's like collecting all the ingredients to make a meal, but never actually cooking it. It doesn't matter how many recipes you read or how many cooking shows you watch. If you never step into the kitchen and take action, you'll never taste the dish you're imagining. I can't stress enough how important it is to move from learning to doing. You can study a topic for hours, even days, but the real power lies in how you implement that knowledge. Learning doesn't end with gaining information. It's only truly effective when you apply what you've learned to real-life situations. If you read a book about time management, it's not enough to just finish the book and feel good about your progress. You need to put those strategies into practice. You need to schedule your day, prioritize your tasks, and adjust when things don't go as planned. Knowledge without action is a wasted opportunity. Let's be real here. People are overwhelmed with information today. It's all over the internet, social media, podcasts, books, seminars, courses, you name it. But the problem isn't the lack of information. The problem is that so many people take in so much but never take the next step. They're collecting data, but not applying it. They think that by simply absorbing knowledge, they're making progress. But that's just a delusion. Without action, it's just entertainment. It's mental clutter. You need to filter that information and ask yourself, what can I do with this? How can I implement this in my life right now? Let's take a simple example. Let's say you read a book on healthy living, and it talks about eating better and working out. If all you do is finish the book and think, that was interesting, you've missed the point. But if you take that information and decide to start adding more vegetables to your meals, or start walking 20 minutes a day, then the information becomes powerful. It's no longer just knowledge. It's a tool you're using to change your life. Now, it's not always easy to take action. It can be uncomfortable. It can be challenging, but that's exactly why it's necessary. If everything you're learning feels easy and doesn't require you to step outside your comfort zone, then you're not learning anything that will truly propel you forward. The real transformation happens when you take that knowledge and put it into the world, where it can be tested and refined. Think about the most successful people you know. I can guarantee you one thing. They don't sit around collecting information without using it. They use it relentlessly. They don't just read books on leadership, they lead. They don't just talk about success, they go after it. The information is the foundation, but the action is what builds the house. They understand that information is useless unless it's transformed into results. So what does this mean for you? It means that you need to make sure that every piece of information you consume is followed by action. Don't just read for the sake of reading. Don't listen to a podcast just to pass the time. Ask yourself, what can I take from this and how can I use it in my life? It could be a new productivity tool, a strategy for improving your relationships, or a mindset shift that can help you deal with challenges. Whatever it is, make sure you take the next step and apply it. If you read a book about business strategies, don't just admire the concepts. Implement them in your business. Try them. Test them. Refine them. The reality is that learning without action is the ultimate form of procrastination. It's comfortable, it's safe, and it doesn't require you to get vulnerable, but it's also useless. So here's the hard truth. You can learn everything in the world, but if you're not using that information to move you forward, it won't change a thing. Don't let information be your comfort zone. Let it be the stepping stone to action. Start by choosing one small thing you've learned today and apply it tomorrow. The more you do this, the more you'll realize that information is the most powerful tool you can have in your life, but only if you're willing to take action on it. And when you do, you'll see the results in your life, your work, and your success. In today's world, there's a huge emphasis on formal education. We're told from a young age that the key to success is getting the right degree, landing the right job, and climbing the corporate ladder. But here's the harsh reality. Formal education isn't the only path to success. In fact, for most people, it's often self-education that makes the biggest difference. You don't need a degree to be successful. You don't need permission from anyone to learn, to grow, or to build the life you want. You have all the tools you need right at your fingertips. Your drive, your curiosity, and your willingness to take action. Self-education is a game changer. The most successful people in the world, from entrepreneurs to artists, athletes to scientists, didn't wait for a teacher or a classroom to tell them what to do. They took responsibility for their own learning. They made a commitment to keep growing, to keep improving, and to keep pushing themselves even when things got tough. They understood that success wasn't about waiting for the perfect opportunity or the right degree. It was about taking the initiative and building their knowledge from the ground up. One of the greatest advantages of self-education is that you can learn what you need when you need it. You're not locked into a curriculum that was designed for the masses. You're free to explore any topic, pursue any passion, and gain any skill that will help you reach your goals. Whether it's learning about business, health, technology, or psychology, you can find resources online, in books, or through mentorships to expand your knowledge. There's no need to wait for someone else to tell you what to learn. You are in the driver's seat of your education, and that means you have the power to choose exactly what you need to move forward. Think about it for a second. How many successful people have you heard about who dropped out of school or didn't have the typical education? People like Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg. These are just a few examples of people who achieved massive success without following the traditional education path. But it wasn't because they didn't value learning. It was because they understood that the real value was in self-directed learning, in staying curious and always searching for new information to grow. They didn't wait for permission to pursue their dreams. They took action and sought out the knowledge they needed to make their vision a reality. When you take control of your own education, you're not just learning facts. You're learning how to think. You're developing problem-solving skills, critical thinking, and the ability to adapt. These are the qualities that matter most in today's fast-paced world. The world is changing rapidly, and the skills you need to thrive are evolving just as quickly. A formal education might have equipped you with knowledge that's useful now, but it's self-education that will keep you adaptable, innovative, and prepared for whatever comes next. Another benefit of self-education is the power of learning from your own experiences. While formal education teaches you theories and concepts, real-world learning teaches you how to apply those ideas and adapt them to your own unique situation. It's about trial and error, getting things wrong and learning from those mistakes. When you learn on your own terms, you don't just memorize information, you internalize it, you apply it, and you make it your own. This also gives you a huge advantage in the workplace. Whether you're in a traditional career or running your own business, the ability to self-educate means you're constantly staying ahead of the curve. You're not relying on someone else to teach you everything you need to know. You're actively seeking out the information that will make you better. This puts you in a position of power because you can evolve faster than others who are stuck in outdated ways of thinking. You can pivot, innovate, and adapt quicker than someone who is rigidly following a predetermined path. The best part is, you don't need to do it alone. Self-education is not about isolating yourself or trying to figure everything out by yourself. It's about seeking out mentors, connecting with people who have the knowledge you need, and learning from their experiences. Surrounding yourself with people who challenge you, who push you to think differently, is just as important as the information you consume. Mentorship, both formal and informal, accelerates your growth because it brings in new perspectives, challenges your assumptions, and expands your mindset. The beauty of self-education is that it's limitless. There's no one-size-fits-all path to success, and there's no one way to learn. You can choose the pace, the resources, and the strategies that work best for you. You can follow your curiosity wherever it takes you, and you can grow in ways that align with your personal goals. Formal education might give you a solid foundation, but it's self-education that lets you build something extraordinary on top of that foundation. So take control of your own learning. Don't wait for someone else to hand you the answers. Seek out the knowledge you need, learn from others, and take action, because when you educate yourself, you empower yourself. And that's the ultimate key to success. Success doesn't come from one big breakthrough. It doesn't come from a single massive effort that propels you forward in an instant. Success is built slowly, steadily, and consistently through the small daily actions that add up over time. Just like investing in the stock market, success is a game of compounding. It's the small incremental improvements you make each day that compound and lead to massive results in the long run. Think about it this way. Imagine you commit to reading just 10 pages of a book every single day. It may seem like a small, insignificant action at first. 10 pages doesn't sound like much, right? But now let's break it down. If you read 10 pages every day for a year, that's about 3,650 pages. That's the equivalent of reading multiple books on topics you care about, books that will expand your knowledge, improve your skills, and help you grow. And those books will equip you with new tools, strategies, and perspectives to take action and create change in your life. But the power of compounding isn't just in the amount of information you gain, it's also in how that knowledge transforms your thinking and behavior over time. The more you read, the more you begin to absorb the concepts and strategies that successful people use. You start thinking differently. You start making better decisions. You start seeing opportunities that you missed before. The small actions you take today, the little habits you build, and the small pieces of knowledge you absorb start adding up in ways that create massive shifts in your life. It's the same with any skill you're working to develop. Let's say you want to improve your physical fitness. Maybe you start by committing to just 15 minutes of exercise every day. At first, it might not feel like much. It might not seem like a huge effort, but over the course of a few months, those 15-minute workouts begin to add up. You start noticing more energy, more strength, and a healthier body. And as you see the changes, your commitment grows stronger. You're motivated by the results, and that keeps you showing up each day. Over time, that 15-minute daily habit turns into a lifestyle change. It's not just about the exercise anymore. It's about who you're becoming. A stronger, more disciplined version of yourself. When you take a compounding approach to your personal growth, it becomes easier to stick with it. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to go all in at once. You just have to show up every day, do a little bit, and trust that the results will come. That's the power of consistency. It's not about one giant leap. It's about taking small, consistent steps and allowing those steps to build on each other. Here's another example. Think about learning a new language. You might start by learning a few words each day. It's not a huge commitment, just a few minutes of practice every day. But over time, as you build up your vocabulary and grammar, you start to see progress. You can start having conversations. You understand more. You begin to think in the language. Those small daily actions compound, and one day, you realize you're fluent. It didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen from one huge push. It happened because you stayed committed to learning a little bit every single day. The best part about the compounding effect is that it doesn't require constant motivation. Motivation can be fleeting. It's easy to feel pumped up on Monday and then lose steam by Wednesday. But when you focus on consistency, you don't have to rely on motivation alone. You just show up, you do the work, you build the habits, that become ingrained in your life. And before you know it, you're seeing results that feel effortless, even though they were the result of daily, intentional action over a long period of time. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but I want results now. I don't want to wait. Here's the truth. Results do take time. But if you understand the compounding principle and commit to consistent action, those results will come faster than you think. It's the people who give up too soon, who expect instant success, that miss out on the incredible power of compounding. They don't give the process enough time to work, and they quit just before they hit the tipping point. Success isn't about doing something huge once and expecting everything to change. It's about showing up every day, doing the small things, and trusting that those small actions will build over time. And the more you do it, the more you realize how much power you have in your hands. You don't need to wait for permission, for the right moment, or for a sign. You just need to commit to the daily process. When you do that, you'll find that success starts to come naturally. So remember, it's the small daily actions that compound and lead to big results. It's the 10 pages you read, the 15 minutes you work out, the little things you learn, the small improvements you make every day that lead you to success. Keep showing up, keep putting in the work, and trust that over time, those small efforts will add up to something incredible. Your mindset is one of the most powerful tools you possess. It shapes your reality, influences your decisions, and determines your outcomes. The things you think, the way you interpret situations, and the beliefs you hold about yourself all feed into your mindset. And here's the thing, your mindset is not fixed. It's not something you're born with and stuck with for life. It's something that can be developed, molded, and improved over time with intention. The key to success, personal growth, and overcoming obstacles is to actively work on shaping a positive, growth-oriented mindset. The first step in building a powerful mindset is understanding that it is a reflection of what you feed it. You are constantly feeding your mind with information, whether you realize it or not. You feed it through what you read, watch, listen to, and even the conversations you have. The news, social media, toxic relationships, these things can all fill your mind with negativity, fear, and doubt. If you feed your mind negativity, it will become a breeding ground for limiting beliefs. You'll start thinking you're not good enough, not capable enough, or that success is out of your reach. The more you feed your mind with negativity, the more it reinforces those beliefs. But here's the good news. You have the power to control what goes into your mind. You can choose to surround yourself with positivity. You can choose to fill your mind with empowering messages, success stories, and lessons from people who have overcome obstacles and achieved great things. The more you feed your mind with positive, uplifting content, the more it will reflect in your actions in your life. It's a simple yet powerful principle. What you feed your mind is what you become. Your mindset isn't just about what you consume, it's also about how you interpret and respond to challenges. Life is full of setbacks, failures, and difficult situations. There's no way around it. Everyone faces obstacles. But it's how you respond to those obstacles that defines your success. A growth-oriented mindset views challenges as opportunities to learn, grow, and improve. When faced with a setback, someone with a positive mindset doesn't give up or wallow in defeat. Instead, they ask themselves, what can I learn from this? How can I use this experience to become stronger? On the other hand, a fixed mindset, a mindset that sees abilities and intelligence as static, can lead you to avoid challenges altogether. People with a fixed mindset may shy away from difficult situations because they're afraid of failing. They see failure as evidence of their inadequacy rather than an opportunity to grow. But the truth is, failure is a necessary part of success. It's through failure that we learn the most about ourselves. It's through failure that we discover what works and what doesn't. And it's through failure that we develop resilience, determination, and grit. This is why cultivating a growth mindset is so important. When you see challenges as opportunities, you approach life with curiosity and excitement instead of fear and resistance. You become more willing to take risks, try new things, and push yourself beyond your comfort zone. The more you stretch yourself, the more you grow. And the more you grow, the more your confidence builds. That's how you develop true self-belief. By proving to yourself through action that you are capable of handling whatever life throws at you. But mindset isn't just about overcoming obstacles. It's also about how you view yourself and your potential. Do you believe that you can improve, that you can achieve your goals, and that you are worthy of success? Or do you hold on to limiting beliefs that tell you you're not enough, not smart enough, or not talented enough? The truth is, no one has all the answers at the beginning. Success isn't about being perfect from the start. It's about being willing to learn, grow, and evolve along the way. It's about believing in your own ability to figure things out, even when things get tough. That's where self-belief comes into play. The more you feed your mind with positive affirmations, the more you surround yourself with people who uplift and support you, the stronger your belief in yourself becomes. When you believe in yourself, you take bigger actions. You take risks. You make decisions that are aligned with your goals. And even when things don't go as planned, you keep going because you trust that you have the power to figure it out. Your mindset also plays a critical role in how you approach your goals. If you see your goals as something far off, something unattainable, your mindset will keep you stuck. But if you break down your goals into small, achievable steps and focus on making daily progress, your mindset shifts. You begin to see that success isn't some distant dream. It's something that's built one step at a time. This shift in perspective allows you to stay focused, motivated, and committed, even when the road ahead seems long and challenging. The bottom line is that your mindset is the foundation of everything you do. It's the lens through which you see the world, and it shapes every action you take. If you want to change your life, you have to start with changing your mindset. You have to be intentional about what you feed it and how you respond to challenges. You have to believe in yourself, even when no one else does. And most importantly, you have to keep working on it every day without fail. Because the stronger your mindset becomes, the stronger your ability to achieve anything you set your mind to. Building habits that support your goals is one of the most powerful ways to ensure your success. Success doesn't happen by accident. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment or for everything to line up perfectly. It's about the small, consistent actions you take every single day. These habits, when they are aligned with your goals, create momentum. They are the key to breaking through your limitations and achieving the kind of success you've always dreamed of. When you think about it, your life is the result of your habits. Think about your daily routine for a moment. How do you spend your time? What do you do first thing in the morning? How do you wind down at night? Your habits shape your day-to-day life, and your day-to-day life is what ultimately shapes your future. If you're not happy with where you are, it's not about changing everything at once. It's about changing the habits that are driving your current results. If you want to change your life, you need to change your habits. But here's the thing, building new habits is hard. It's not easy to shift the way you've been doing things for years. Old habits are comfortable, familiar, and ingrained in your daily life. They've become part of who you are. So when you try to introduce new habits, they can feel awkward, uncomfortable, or even like you're forcing yourself into something that doesn't quite fit. That's natural. The key is to be patient with yourself and understand that change takes time. It takes persistence, consistency, and a willingness to embrace discomfort as part of the growth process. The first step in building habits that support your goals is to start small. Don't try to overhaul your entire life all at once. It's easy to get excited and set huge goals like going to the gym every day, waking up at 5 a.m., or reading a book a week. But these big changes can be overwhelming. Instead, focus on the small actions that can gradually lead you to bigger habits. Maybe you start by committing to just 10 minutes of exercise each day or reading one page of a book each night. The key is to start somewhere and make it sustainable. When you make a small commitment and stick to it, you build momentum, and that momentum will carry you forward. Another powerful strategy is to track your progress. When you track your habits, you create a visual reminder of the effort you're putting in. This can be incredibly motivating. For example, if you're trying to build a habit of journaling every morning, you can track your progress on a calendar or use an app that helps you monitor your streak. Every day you mark off is a small win, and those wins add up. They not only show you how far you've come, but also remind you of the commitment you've made to your goals. Tracking your habits keeps you accountable and reinforces the idea that consistency is key to success. One of the reasons habits are so powerful is that they remove the need for willpower. Willpower is limited. It's a finite resource that can get depleted throughout the day. But when you build habits, you don't have to rely on willpower to make the right decisions. The habit becomes automatic. It's no longer something you have to think about. For example, if you make it a habit to drink a glass of water as soon as you wake up in the morning, you don't have to use willpower to remember to do it. It's simply part of your routine. That's the beauty of habits. They free up mental energy and make it easier to stick to your goals without burning out. But the key is to make your habits align with your goals. If your goal is to become a better writer, for example, then your daily habits need to support that goal. This could mean setting aside time each day to write, even if it's just for 10 minutes. If your goal is to build a successful business, your habits might involve dedicating a certain amount of time each day to networking, learning about your industry, or working on your business strategy. Your habits need to be aligned with the outcome you're working towards, or they won't take you where you want to go. The other thing to keep in mind is that it's okay to slip up. Habits take time to build, and there will be days when you miss the mark. You might skip a workout, forget to meditate, or eat something unhealthy. Don't let these moments derail your progress. The key is to get back on track as quickly as possible. One mistake doesn't undo the work you've done. Success doesn't come from perfection. It comes from consistency. It comes from getting up, dusting yourself off, and continuing forward. As you start to build the right habits, you'll notice that your mindset starts to shift as well. When you make consistent progress towards your goals, no matter how small, you begin to believe that you are capable of achieving even bigger things. You'll build confidence in yourself and in your ability to follow through. This newfound confidence is a powerful driver for further success. It fuels the momentum you need to keep moving forward, and it helps you push through the inevitable obstacles and setbacks that arise along the way. Remember, your future is not determined by a single moment or decision. It's determined by the small, consistent habits you build today. So take the time to build habits that align with your goals. Start small, track your progress, and stay committed. Success isn't a destination. It's the result of the habits you form and the actions you take every single day. By making those habits work for you, you'll create the future you've always dreamed of. The journey to success is never a straight line. It's filled with ups and downs, challenges, and unexpected detours. But here's the truth. The most successful people aren't the ones who never face setbacks. They're the ones who know how to keep going no matter what. Resilience is the secret weapon that separates those who succeed from those who give up. It's not about avoiding failure or staying in your comfort zone. It's about developing the mental strength to keep moving forward when things get tough. Resilience is a quality that can be developed, just like any other skill. It's about learning how to bounce back from disappointments, how to adapt in the face of adversity, and how to stay focused on your goals even when it feels like everything is falling apart. The key to building resilience is realizing that setbacks and failures are part of the process. They don't define you, they refine you. They teach you valuable lessons that success alone can never teach. Every obstacle you face is an opportunity for growth, for learning, and for becoming stronger. When you hit a roadblock, your mindset will be the deciding factor in how you respond. You can either choose to see it as a sign that you're not cut out for success, or you can choose to see it as a temporary challenge to be overcome. Resilient people understand that failure is not permanent. It's just a moment in time. The key is to keep going, even when the path ahead isn't clear. They focus on what they can control and let go of what they can't. They break their challenges down into manageable steps and tackle them one at a time. It's easy to get discouraged when things don't go as planned, but if you stay in the mindset that failure is an opportunity, you start to see setbacks differently. Instead of feeling defeated, you ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I improve? What's the next step? This shift in perspective is one of the most powerful tools you can develop. Instead of seeing obstacles as roadblocks, you start to see them as learning experiences that help you build the resilience you need to keep pushing forward. Another important aspect of resilience is perseverance. It's about showing up day after day, even when you don't feel like it. There will be days when you're exhausted, when you're frustrated, and when you question if it's all worth it. But those are the days when perseverance becomes the most important. Success isn't built on good days alone. It's built on the days when you push through the discomfort, the doubt, and the uncertainty. When you keep showing up, even when it feels like the odds are stacked against you, that's when true progress is made. Resilience also means being adaptable. Life rarely goes according to plan, and things often change unexpectedly. The most resilient people are the ones who can roll with the punches, who can adapt their strategy when things don't go as expected, and who can maintain a sense of calm and focus during times of uncertainty. Being able to adjust your approach while keeping your ultimate goal in sight is a crucial part of being resilient. Sometimes the path to success requires you to pivot, to try something new, or to take a different direction. Resilient people understand that flexibility doesn't mean giving up. It means adjusting and evolving in response to what's happening around them. Another critical component of resilience is self-compassion. It's important to be kind to yourself when you're struggling. We're often our own worst critics, especially when things aren't going as planned. But beating yourself up for making mistakes or facing challenges only makes it harder to bounce back. Instead of focusing on your failures, focus on your progress. Celebrate the small wins along the way and recognize the effort you're putting in. Self-compassion helps you maintain a positive mindset, which is essential for resilience. When you treat yourself with kindness and understanding, you're more likely to stay motivated and continue pushing forward. Building resilience is also about having a support system. You don't have to face challenges alone. Surround yourself with people who believe in you, who can offer support when you need it, and who can help you stay focused on your goals. Whether it's friends, family, mentors, or colleagues, having a network of people who encourage and inspire you can make a huge difference in your ability to stay resilient. They can offer valuable perspectives, provide motivation when you're feeling low, and remind you that you're not alone in your journey. Lastly, remember that resilience isn't about being perfect. It's not about never experiencing doubt, fear, or frustration. It's about how you respond to those feelings. Resilience is the ability to keep moving forward, even when it feels difficult. It's about taking the lessons from your failures, learning from them, and using them to fuel your growth. It's about showing up every day, putting in the work, and trusting that even in the toughest moments, you're building something great. In the end, resilience is what allows you to stay committed to your dreams no matter how many setbacks you face along the way. It's what keeps you going when others would have given up. It's the strength to keep fighting, keep learning, and keep growing. And it's what will ultimately lead you to the success you've always wanted. So embrace challenges, trust in your ability to overcome them, and know that every setback is just a stepping stone on your journey to success.